Hi, it's Phil. I'm back on this YouTube channel for the Anna Wilson home. I've really got to take me back to, or yourselves back to the previous video. I talked about that the Salvation Army is never on YouTube. Now, the situation with the Salvation Army is this. Salvation Army on YouTube is all over the place. But the Anna Wilson home is the particular thing I'm trying to get through to, because the Anna Wilson home, run by the Salvation Army in Tankerton, is not on the internet hardly at all. There is one site which got closed down literally as soon as I reported it to the police. I reported it to Salvation Army, I reported it to Kent County Council, and within 2 days the website had been closed, had been taken off the internet completely. So what I'm trying to get through to is that over the last 25 years, I've recently come across a photograph. I've been looking for a photograph of the Anna Wilson home for 25 years, and I've now got to the stage where it's the only thing I've found, apart from National Archives, which is at Kew, but the information on the Anna Wilson home, the only information they had was at Kent Libraries and History. So I had to go through them. Now, also I've been on 5 different websites, not necessarily websites, search engines, and absolutely nothing comes up on the Anna Wilson home. All it comes up is Anna Wilson, as in the author, rather than Anna Wilson, the children's home, run by the Salvation Army. So I'm sorry if I'm blumbling along a bit by this, but I am testing YouTube and I'm trying to test to be precise and to the point with my videos. But what I'm trying to get to is this, is that there's hardly anything on the Salvation Army. But over the years, I have literally been in contact with the Metropolitan Police. I've been in contact with Surrey Police about this. I've been in contact with Kent Police. I've also been in contact with Kent County Council, East Sussex County Council. I've also been in contact with the NSPCC. I've also been in contact with NAPAC, and I've also been in contact with, sorry about this, I'm trying to think, because I'm doing this literally live. So if I do ever halt or stall, is because I'm still thinking, but I don't want to read from a script. So I'm going to go over the 3-minute thing on this. But what I'm trying to get it to is this. The information I've been looking for is anything connected with the running of the Salvation Army, the management of the Salvation Army, what safeguards should have been placed with the Salvation Army, and also making sure that it was being run properly. Now, to this day now, literally going back from 1995. 1995 was basically where it all started with me trying to get information. I contacted Metropolitan Police in about 1995, mid-90s. Nothing was done by them. Then, late 1990s, before I went off travelling, I also got back in contact with, I think at that time it was Surrey Police. Then, at a later date, 2005-ish maybe, I was in contact again with, it was either Metropolitan Police or it was Surrey Police, because I was living up in London at that time. I was living on the outskirts, so it could have been Metropolitan Police, could have been Surrey Police, it could have been even Middlesex Police, because I went through a 101. And I talked to them and nothing was done. Now, at a later date, I suddenly started thinking, seriously, nothing's being done. So I had a really bad problem which happened in my life literally about 5 years ago. A very, very close friend of mine called John Verrill, he passed away. Now, he was my second father, and he was somebody I could really get involved with and talk to him about things which had happened to me, my emotions, my feelings, how I was feeling, what was going on in my mind and everything else. Well, he passed away, and I suddenly thought, I've got to get back and try and get people to know more about this. So I think at the time it must have been Metropolitan Police, or it could have been Surrey Police, because I called up on 101, and whatever local area you're in, that goes to that particular area. And so it was either Metropolitan Police or Surrey Police. I contacted them and told everything about what had happened, and still I got not a phone call back. So I'd literally been in contact with the police on about 5, 6, maybe 7 times since 1995. Nothing's been done. Now, every time I called and initially told them what had been going on at the Anna Wilson home, after that initial phone call, I was so screwed up in my head about what I told them, and that I came out with everything which had happened to me. And when they didn't call me back, I just thought, they're not listening to me. They're really not listening to me. So it got to the point where I really was feeling a bit desperate, and I really did actually think about what is there I can do to basically try and get the truth out. And I haven't said this before, but in 2000 I actually had a morning to myself where I wasn't working because it was a rainy day, and I was landscaping, and it was wet, it was cold, it was miserable, it was horrible, and I just thought, I'm not going to work in this, it's terrible. And I was a landscape gardener. So I was put on the TV, and I watched Kilroy. I could not believe it. The program I was watching was basically about kids who've been abused in the care system. I'm choking up about this bit. They were talking about files. And I basically thought, hey, this is an emotional one for me. I had never ever realised that I had files on me which I could get to. So anyway, I thought about this, and I thought, yeah, I'm going to get my files. And you know what? I basically contacted Kent Social Services, and I told them that I was in care through Kent County Council for 18 years, from the age of 3 weeks old. So anyway, I asked for my files. They found the files. The files got found. When it came to the day for me to go and see them, I had to call up saying I wasn't ready to get my files. Now, I know I'm getting a bit emotional about this, but this is really a sore point. I never got those files because I didn't have the guts or the confidence to go and see them. So anyway, at a later day, I just decided that this is it. 2017 was basically when I asked for my files. I basically put in a Freedom of Information request, a personal access request, and to look at my files under the GDPR, which it was changing to be. Rather than the data protection, it became the General Data Protection Regulation, because that's when the law changed and the tightening of people's personal data really had been tightened, because a couple of corporations are basically let loose of people's personal information. So I then applied for my files. I applied in October 2017, 14th of October 2017. After going through all the rigmarole of giving them the proof of my identity, the proof of where I lived, the proof of who I was, and after going through all of that so that I could get the files on myself of being on my care plan for the 18 years I've been in care, I then basically got to the point where I'm ready for my files. This is 2017. 17 years later, or 16 years later, after I officially asked for my files to be released. I'm going to literally run the video slowly to the end now, because the next story is a bit of a long story and I don't really want to go too long into this video. But 2017, my files should have been delivered 6 weeks under the GDPR to arrive at my front door Christmas Eve. I had no email. I had no phone call. The letter basically said, "Sorry, Mr. Starter, but your files have been lost." So basically, 18 years of my life has basically been erased. I had the shittiest Christmas I've ever had. Also, my best friend, who also lives with me, she was extremely ill Christmas Day. And it was just like a really, really bad Christmas Day. She wasn't well. She was in bed. I was looking after her. And I was on my own quite a bit of the time, just watching TV, just trying to get away from what just happened. Basically, my files have been lost. And wait until the next video. But anyway, I do apologise if I have delayed this video and I've got on a bit too much. But you know what? This is who I am. This is how I am sometimes. And sometimes I get a bit of verbal diarrhea and sometimes I just go on and on. But hey, this is me. This is who I am. Wait until the next time when I give you the next update on my files. Okay, I'm coming off now. Have a good day, everyone. Thanks for listening. And this is episode 3 of the Ann Wilson's Home. Getting justice, getting the truth, and sharing and getting some form of, I would say, closure. Okay. Have a good day, everyone. Thanks a lot. And sorry I got a bit emotional. Take care. Bye.